Hi everyone, this is our weekly blog. I just came back from London where we gave a two-day seminar on medical pulse diagnosis and we gave a two-day seminar on distal needling acupuncture. It was a great seminar. There were Chinese doctors from all over Great Britain, Ireland, Scotland, and then some from Europe. And then even some people that flew in from the United States. So it was really a great course. And during the course, someone asked about what that reverse hook pulse means, and I spent quite a bit of time talking about it, probably more than I ever have. And so I'd like you to watch that. I think it will help you in understanding what happens when this chur pulse is too high and the sum pulse becomes too low. So enjoy it, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
So, reverse hook pulse. The pulse where the chur position is higher or more superficial than the guan and sun, but quite frankly, the guan could be just as high. That's what you usually see. You usually see the kidney pulse is way too high, the guan pulse is too high, and the sun pulse is too low. So we have to redefine that a little bit. What does it mean? Long-term emotional, a little bit of emotional imbalance, but it's not a psychological problem. You write that down. This is not a psychological problem. These people don't have psychological issues. This is a physical problem. It's a physical problem causing emotional stuff. What's the emotional stuff? These people always have to stay active, 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 active. If they can't be active, they just explode. These are the people that drive you nuts on vacation. You know, one moment they're skydiving, the next moment they're scuba diving. You're just trying to rest on the beach and read your book, and they're running around on the beach, and they want to go here and they want to go there. They got their sightseeing book out. They already memorized everything in London. You know, you're 7:30 in the morning with the Chinese on the bus looking at every stupid thing in London. That's your reverse hook people. And at 6 o'clock they get home, they rest for 20 minutes, and then bang, we gotta go, changing of the guard, changing of the guard. Those are the reverse hook people. Everywhere you go, it's the guidebook. You got to see every stupid thing in Nice. You can't just relax. Now, as it gets a little stronger, they're always worried. But it's not really a worry, it's an uneasiness. They have an existential angst. They have a subliminal fearfulness. And it's a subliminal fearfulness that makes them so hyperactive. You know, if you ask them to do something, they'll do it till 2 in the morning. I mean, they just keep going until they drop. And then the next day, you know, they rest, and then the next day the whole thing starts all over again. These people are great to hire because they'll work like dogs. But they just, the overactivity that they do is a compensation for the fearfulness that they feel. If they just sit still, they feel uncomfortable because they feel this fearfulness. They're a little afraid. They don't even know what they're afraid of. It's an existential fear. And women who've been abused, raped, molested, they all have it. All special forces guys, they all have it. Navy SEALs, I've done a lot of them, they all have it. Because they've been shot at. They've been in combat. Busy businessmen or women, under a lot of pressure, commodity traders. That's what I did. I was a commodity trader. You know, and you can go to lunch and come back and lose $20 million. It can happen. Now you're vomiting in your trash bucket there with your, you know, at your desk. Every morning when I would drive to work, you know, I had a brand new $90,000 Benz, but I'm dry heaving in the car every single morning on the way to work. Dry heaving. Yeah, that's stress. So being exposed to a stressful situation for a long period of time will cause this reverse hook. Being abused will cause the reverse hook being in combat will cause the reverse hook, or, and most likely, something scared the hell out of you when you were young. Now, what could that have been? Alcoholic parents, where the kids come downstairs in the morning and it's like, holy shit, what's going to happen today? Parents that are fighting with each other dangerously. The kids are exposed to that, it scares the hell out of the child. That it's not safe. It's not safe for the child. That child will get a reverse hook pulse. Almost drowning. If the child, the young kid, almost drowns, will create a reverse hook pulse. Almost dying, or being in a car accident where you almost died, the body almost dying will create a reverse hook pulse. Violent parents, reverse hook pulse. A divorce at an early age where it scares the hell out of you. You stay, now you're with mom. Mom doesn't know where the money's going to come from. The child is scared. It produces a reverse hook pulse. Does the pulse go away? Usually not. It has to be treated. You will see this a lot. And fortunately, you can fix it. And the patient will feel so much better. Now, what's actually happening physically? Anytime the physical body is threatened, the body will flip into a fight or flight mode. We are genetically designed to save ourselves. Fight or flight simply means the adrenal gland floods the bloodstream with adrenaline, cortisol, epinephrine, your typical stress hormones, which makes it so that the body can run fast, is very alert to try to survive. When the event is over and the organism did survive, what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to go back to normal. Everything's supposed to go back to normal. But in some cases, it doesn't go back to normal. It goes back, but not all the way. And what that means is now their adrenal gland is constantly producing a little bit too much adrenaline, a little bit too much cortisol, a little bit too much epinephrine. And the result is you are stuck in what's called stage 3 chronic stress, fight or flight, post-traumatic stress syndrome. That's why there's this uneasiness. There's a subliminal uneasiness. Sometimes I say to people, you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop, aren't you? Yes, I am. You're running from an imaginary tiger. Have to keep moving, have to keep moving. Yes?
Could it be caused by emotional trauma?
It could be caused by any kind of trauma, including emotional trauma, but the emotional trauma threatens the body. The emotional trauma has to threaten the body where the body goes into fight or flight. That's why it's a physical problem. Very often when you see it in the busy business people that are running big businesses with a lot of pressure and the business might not be doing very well, they don't have psychological problems. They just have an adrenal gland that won't shut down. So they'll end up with a fight or flight pulse.
What's the severe stress state?
It is, what causes it is stress, but the stress has to trip the fight or flight mechanism. The stressful event has to trip the fight or flight mechanism. Yes?
Does this pulse remain once they've tipped over adrenal fatigue and everything just crashes?
Say it again.
Does this pulse remain in place once these chronic fight or flight patients have tipped over into complete adrenal fatigue?
Fight or flight is adrenal fatigue.
But it keeps you going for a while, doesn't it? And then,
Well, you're running on empty.
Yeah.
The adrenal gland is a strange gland. Very often, if it's fatigued, it will spit out too many stress hormones. So the way to fix this problem is not sedating. These patients do not get sedated, they get strengthened. You strengthen the adrenal gland. That's when you start using these kidney tonics. Kidney yang tonics, kidney yin tonics. You strengthen the adrenal gland and then it just calms down. It's an odd gland. When it's in this sort of exhausted state, it will keep spitting out. These are the type of people, when it's really bad, they're in front of you and They're just,